Namaste, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac Weather. My name is Christopher Witecki. I am the sensei to Sirius Joy, here to help you step into your personal joy. And incidentally, I believe that Sirius Joy is a state of being. We can all learn how to be there. Now, this is a special weekend edition. It is for Saturday and Sunday, both September 27th and 28th, 2014. And over the weekend, Step 4 and Step 5 will rule the day. So these add to innovation. Step 4 is breakdown. Step 5 is breakthrough. So we all kind of step on a crack that breaks our mother's back, right? Or slip on something that makes us realize something. And sometimes it's not till we fall on our back or energetically end up kind of looking in a new direction, because that's what ends up happening when you fall down. When something breaks down, you find yourself on your back and, oh my God, the ceilings need to be painted. You realize things when things slip up, and I don't predict this is going to be a bad slip up per se, but I'm putting it out there for the weekend. Some sort of inner, maybe minor panic, and when you fall through with it, a breakthrough. But before we discuss where you might break down and break through, let's first tame our brain, shall we, with the phrase of the day. I am open to wherever I am loved and accepted. I am open to wherever I am loved and accepted. And this is where we need to prepare our mind and prepare our heart. And why is this? Why do we want to be accepted wherever we're loved? Because the law of attraction is actually based on love. So if you open up to where you are loved and accepted, you are opening up to the true nature of the universe and how it works, and things will move faster for you. But also, it's through love that we usually end up changing ourselves, changing our perspective. So we need to be open to wherever we are loved and accepted, including in ourself. Now, that said, the serious steps of the day will be Step 4 on Saturday and Step 5 on Sunday. So it's breakdown, breakthrough. Some people operate about 48 hours ahead of time, incidentally, which is one of the reasons why I am getting Namaste Today's out earlier, so you can understand that. But the breakdown can happen as early as Friday night through Saturday afternoon. It can be a breakdown in the sense of, oh my God, and then, oh, I'll be fine. Or it can be a flat tire that leads to meeting somebody interesting. Now, the Joy Quest intentions are the same. We are looking to belong somewhere different, is what our heart is seeking in the breakdown. So when there's a breakdown, it's because our heart was attached to something that doesn't serve us anymore, and it belongs attached to something else, attached to something that has more loving. Now, Step 5 is when the mind panics and starts scrambling for an answer and begins to find one. So this is a I belong somewhere else, and you might already feel that. For more souls who are more self-aware, who do more meditation, you may already know in your heart, I belong somewhere else, and you might seek out to find that already on your own without having something kind of fall apart, or something falls apart in addition, and you're like, you see, I knew my heart didn't belong there. But we want to be open to wherever our heart belongs and where it feels loved and accepted, because that allows us to truly belong in the right place and not attached to the wrong place. Now, making it a bit more intense, the moon is in Scorpio, and that means we are dropping zeros. I call dropping zeros when you protect yourself. That's what a zero is. It's I protect. So we're dropping zeros. Somewhere once we find out, we're going to find that we're a bit emotionally defensive. We're also going to find that we have to emotionally grow up somewhere in our life as a result. Growing up means that we emotionally want it one way, but it's not that way. And we have to emotionally be like, okay, let's nurture ourselves to be like, to get over the fact. Now, but in the end, you're going to find that you are stronger. We'll talk about it in the Sensei Sunrise. So tonight's sky is very electric. Electric storms, in some cases, conflicts, many relationship breakdowns, many arguments, because the sun is in Libra. It's about giving and receiving. It's about when we give and receive. And so a lot of the personal breakdowns where we belong somewhere else literally deal with a relationship out there. So I'm predicting some electric skies and some storms. Let's look at the ruling chakras. Well, starting with Saturday, it's I belong. So even though our heart is the one calling out for an attraction, it is actually our crown chakra that does that attracting. So when you light your heart up, the green chakra, with love, then the purple becomes clear. That's how they work. Now, the I think on Sunday is actually the third chakra. So a lot of people think too much, they get sick to their stomach. The third chakra also is aligned with I feel. So when thinking is working, it's always stirring the feeling part of us at the same time. The two are always seeking harmony, and so it is the breakdown, the freaking out, the butterflies is the crown chakra realizes we don't belong here, and then the third chakra goes, oh gosh, what do we do next, right? And that's kind of how it goes. So what you can do is try to align your thoughts and feelings. If you get a sick stomach, if something starts to panic, either your feelings need nurturing or your mind needs to shut up. One of the two, right? And that's how it works. Now, looking at Planet Soup, what does God have cooking up in the skies for us? Well, the recipe is complex, my friend. For starters, like we said, the sun is at 4 and 5 degrees Libra. Now, Libra is giving and receiving. It is relationships. So the way this manifests is we ultimately feel cheated or something is unfair. This is one of the degrees, step 4, step 5, where the scales fall out of balance. So if you've been living way out of balance, they kind of fall here. If someone's been cheating you, it becomes clear. If you've been cheating, they get caught. Like wherever unfairness is in the world, an injustice, it usually unveils itself or its ugly head at this point with the sun. Now, adding aggression to this is male ego. Mars is from step 9 to step 10 this weekend in Sagittarius. Step 9 is kind of like Mars being on Mars. So it is a quantum push. We're all feeling this push starting Friday night through all day Saturday. And it's this, let's do this, let's move ahead. You could describe it as an impatience, but the same energy is, I think, pushing us to move forward. Now what we're moving forward is more than just male aggression. It is this grand trine, which means as we push forward with what we're pushing forward with is a new way of thinking, a new way of believing. I'll talk about that in the Sensei Sunrise. But as we allow ourselves to move into new thinking, new belief, Mars in Sag, what ends up happening is we innovate what our definition of male was in the first place. So expect your male definition to redefine itself if you're a male or a female by moving forward with whatever your philosophy is. So there's the redefinition of male that gets pulled in. Jupiter in Leo says, you know, it is time to follow our heart, which is what's pushing Mars. So what's behind Mars is our hearts. Our hearts want more, Jupiter in Leo, and Mars is like, well, then let's move ahead with this new philosophy. And Uranus in Aries says, well, that means we're going to have to redefine what we are. We are. Which means we won't feel strong in that first moment of the new, just so we know. And Jupiter is actually at 15. So what that means is it's halfway through the Leo transit. It also means that in order to grow at this point, it's going to be uniting the mind with the heart. The mind has got to get on board with what the heart wants. That's part of what we need to sit in our posture with our Sensei Sunrise. And then Mercury, it's so funny. It's like, okay, we're supposed to get in our heart. We're supposed to align our mind with our heart. Where's our mind? Whoa, it's offline for the next 2 days, 0 degrees Scorpio. So thoughts are moving towards changing boundaries. 0 degrees Scorpio means we have the ability to kind of hide our thoughts. It also means that we will hide our thoughts from ourselves if we're not being honest. It also means that interesting rumors or truth comes out in the next 48 hours or so with Mercury at 0 degrees. It is, in some regards, maybe what the breakdown is triggered by is someone's loose mouth or information that comes out. But on the flip side, as something happens, as something breaks down, our mind is not necessarily right there and present. So putting that out there on the grill for you. And then the moon, of course, is dropping zeros. The moon is in Scorpio. So as all these fireworks are going on in God's soup up there, emotionally we are looking to protect ourselves. And that's a good thing. That's part of the reason why we are in this predicament. In fact, the moon is crossing Saturn over the course of this weekend. So while we are fighting an injustice, defending our heart, moving forward with the new, redefining the male in us, we are basically emotionally growing up. As the moon crosses Saturn, which is at a joy quest of 2, which means Saturn says, manage your feelings and protect your feelings. It is time to grow up emotionally. That might mean protecting your feelings in letting go of someone. That might mean protecting your feelings in waiting for someone. Whatever it comes down to, it has to do with protecting your feelings, and we'll talk about that. But today, through the weekend, you will have to protect your feelings, and that probably will mean some sort of sacrifice somewhere else, and somewhere you have to step up. So that brings us to our Sensei Sunrise. So the inner focus, actually, I'm going to take us to a new direction here. On Saturday, it's step 4, about belonging somewhere else. On Sunday, it's step 5, which is about thinking differently. So on Saturday, our Sensei Sunrise, you want to rise and put your sun into ready to respond, expecting the unexpected. That's what Saturday, I think, is about. It's about expecting unexpected. You may believe your heart belongs here. You may find your heart belongs there. If you are open and honest to yourself, if you're open and honest to where you are loved and you are accepted, you may find on Saturday, the electric storms of the day, that while other people are breaking down, you are finding your truth. You are innovating. That's the true spirit of step 4 at a Uranus-ruled day. So on Saturday, we're being open to what the universe might say as far as love, a law of attraction. And of course, our heart needs to be open to our truths and what our heart truly wants. On Sunday, we're trying to break through and understand, and even in the most open circumstances, we are sometimes surprised at what the truth is. And it may take till Monday morning, by the way, to break through, just to give people that 48-hour kind of window. But I believe that with the sun in Libra, when I'm leaving to all this, Libra is relationships. And the first part of Libra is relationships to the self. So really, every human on earth is looking at your relationship to yourself. You may have something in your life break down like a relationship, but it is because, according to our intuitive matrix, it is actually because we have let ourselves down. So when we allow ourselves to be in an unfair situation, we have somewhere let ourselves down. And so I think some of the breakdown is really, if you meditate and get close on it, it's like, oh, how could I let myself down? How could I have, not been there? Why did I let that go by? Why did I let this happen? Why did I let this go too far? We're talking about Libra, we're talking about imbalance. And that's where the mind moves into step 5 and wants to get an answer, like, what is it? What is it? All right? So that leads me actually to some exploration and a new little feature I have here called Today's Gong. Do you like that? Today's gong is the gong moment. It's like the moment where your head is kind of looking for, I think, and I think every day you need a gong moment. And today's gong moment is, who is your boogeyman? What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is when you let yourself down, if you let yourself down, if you let things get out of balance, if you do, I find in my personal meditation, when I meditate on me, I find that the reason why I let this happen in Libra was because I was trying to arrogantly avoid my boogeyman. I was actually trying to not be something by not doing something. Here it was like 2 steps to the same path. In my mind, I either let people go too far or I go too far because of this background kind of boogeyman. There's this thing I'm afraid of being, so I'm being 3 other things instead of just not being that. And I think that's the dodginess of Libra politics. And I think that's the energy of Libra and Aries and the way they balance each other out. There's the arrogant Aries who knows everything. That's the boogeyman in this case. And in Libra, it's who we think we are being, and we think we're being good to others, but are we being good to ourselves? And are we even being good to ourselves? Are we just avoiding our boogeyman, what it is we're afraid of being? We all have our personal stories of being afraid of being something. We have our karmic stories, and we have other parts. But today, meditate on, are you just trying to avoid what your boogeyman might be? And in the Zodiac weather, I'm going to propose what the boogeyman might be for all 12 of you after this. Incidentally, Soulmart has been remodeled in the last few days to a week to be easier on your phone, so easier to use on your phone, and easier and prettier on the eyes once you get there on the mothership too, if you're using a desktop computer. So we're easier to use. Come on down. I'm always working for it to be better. One of the great things is, of course, the Megascope monthlies are available for immediate rental and download if you don't know. And if you don't know what these things are, well, I have gone out of my way to record an Astro Extra, which is basically an introduction to each of the 12 signs and each of the 12 rising signs, like a 2.5-minute introduction of what's happening in your story between now and October 31st. So these are an introduction to the Megascopes. They're kind of a preview, and you can watch them at soulgarden.tv. Click under Super Scopes, click Astro Extra. You'll see all 12 right there for you to enjoy. Now these are all part of the Megascope monthlies. Incidentally, Friday is a mega date and Monday is a mega date. In the Megascope monthlies, I have what I call the mega dates. These are major story turning points. So yesterday, Friday, we had a turning point, and Monday is a turning point. So if you have a Megascope monthly, watch it again. Right now, you're going to see how interesting how the story does go and unfold, especially this weekend. For those who want a reading with me, a one-on-one on Skype, which is recorded at MP3, I am available. My schedule is online, and half hours are only $65. And I'm finding we can get really to the bottom, especially if people give us your question ahead of time, and get really to the bottom in 35 minutes. So 30 minutes. If you would like one, come on down to soulmart.me. And if you need any help with anything that's related to a purchase or a rental, or you can't get it to work on your device, we do have some cases where it doesn't work. The Megascopes don't work on someone's device. Email us, we get back right to you, and we give you alternatives. So don't hesitate to come on down. But before you go shopping at soulmart.me, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters this weekend and what their boogeyman might be, starting with the Scorpios. I'm going to boogie. Scorpios, sunny and cool, actually. The moon is in their sign, so emotions are going to be feeling good, even though they might be a little cranky. Here's what your boogeyman is, an overzealous asshole. That's what Scorpios are afraid of being. They're afraid of being an overzealous asshole, so they actually don't protect themselves. They don't be fair to themselves because they don't want to be that overzealous asshole. So you end up being one sometimes, right? So I think the boogeyman is that for the Scorpios. The Leos, moody, chance of showers this weekend. You're afraid of being a know-it-all nothing. That's what you're afraid of. That's what I think you fear. So you go back and forth. You don't say your truth. And so mentally you let yourself down. My prediction is the boogeyman is a know-it-all nothing for the royalty. Cancer, sunny and creative. You are afraid of being a sneaky crab trying to take control in the background. That's right. Kind of that Cleopatra, like, why is they really with that person anyways? That's what crabs are afraid of being, I think, and becoming. And so what do you end up being? Well, you end up going back and forth in your mind, back and forth, and really just throwing off your entire emotional foundation as a result. Step 3, the Sagittarius says, cloudy, chance of showers this weekend. Don't think the Archers are happy. What is your boogeyman? Well, I think you're afraid of being a selfish child that wants it your way all the time. And so you end up giving it to everyone else's way all the time. And to not be the selfish child. But then what happens? Step 4, the Aquarius says, sunny and professional this weekend. What are you afraid of? What's your boogeyman? Your boogeyman is that you are some arrogant dictator that won't listen to everybody. You know, everyone's fear is that you'll be. And so to not be an arrogant dictator, then you end up being a dictator with yourself and yada, yada, yada. I don't know, it goes paradoxical for y'all. Step 5, the Gemini is cloudy and hyper-aware. What's your boogeyman? I think you are afraid of being a two-sided politician out for your own gain. That's what you're afraid of being. And you're not. You just need to be out there for your own gain. And I think that's what this leads to for everyone. We need to just be out there. Let's just face our boogeyman and boogie with it. Librans, sunny and working today. They're going to be very working. What are you? What's your boogeyman? Your boogeyman is that you're a manipulator. The relationships are always under your control, that you're secretly doing it all for you. You don't want to be had out, right? Step 7, the Pisces, cloudy, learning all through the weekend. What is your boogeyman? Well, I think your boogeyman is that you are a con artist and that you're only flexible really for your own gain, not really flexible. Possible. That's what I think Pisces worry about becoming, and Pisces do like to worry. Step 8, the sunny and social. What's the boogeyman for the Capricorn? So their boogeyman is that they'll become a dictator and the decisions are only for you and that you're not thinking for anyone else. That's what I think what your boogeyman is, just saying. Step 9, the Aries, Humid, chance of showers and crying or breaking down this weekend. What is your boogeyman? Well, especially in relationships, you are afraid you'll become an arrogant prick, only in it for yourself. That's where you might go too far with the Aries energy. And some Aries do. But I think in effort to not being over arrogant prick, what are you doing in your relationships? That's the question. Taurus, cloudy, chance of love issues through the weekend. What's your boogeyman? Oh, the boogeyman's that you're a coward and afraid to enforce justice in the moment. Right? So in order to not be a coward, you end up being a coward. You end up tiptoeing around everyone else, and really you're just afraid of standing up for yourself. The Virgos, cloudy, chance of mind games this weekend. Here is your boogeyman, that you are actually a manipulator, only analyzing everything for your own gain. But is that just maybe your boogeyman? Maybe you just need to honestly look at what you want your heart to have and gain and not worry about being a manipulator. You see how we go back and forth with the Aries and Libra? I hope it's clear to everyone because I'm trying to help people out of a mind game, not into one. Now, looking at our Lightwalker Parade, what do we have in the Light Parade today for you, my friends, and for the weekend to help you and your light get along? For one, Venus Prime Help with Damon Perry. We're now doing the Avoid Cancer series. We're up to step 5, which is deodorants. Changing your deodorants will possibly put you on a anti-cancer path. I've released an Astro 101 this week about Venus in your chart and in transit and how to calculate and change that. That is available in the Astro 101 blog. And if you missed it, Modern Mommies talked about hyperactive children, to medicate or not. I was actually one of the token fathers on that show. In fact, actually got a little reward on it. You'll have to watch and see what I'm talking about. And on Circle of Wisdom, we got into some heated debate about what our mirage is to ourselves, our responsibility to ourselves, and our responsibilities to society. So you got to be a real spiritual nerd to like it. But if you like that kind of stuff, come on down to Circle of Wisdom. If you're on YouTube, please be so kind and subscribe to our channel. And on Facebook, you can be our friend and get updates by going to soulgarden.me. And we now have a list to sign up for. If you'd like to be on our email list, I do email out every night at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sign up and we'll email you too. Now remember, the kindest thing you can do is tell your friends about us. We're at soulgarden.tv and we are up and of light and have been of service since 2006. And this brings us to my final service of the weekend, which is my song prescription. The song I thought you might want to listen to when you're dancing around with who your boogeyman might be and how to just be straight with your heart and straight with yourself. Of course, Casey and the Sunshine Band, I'm your boogeyman. So if you get down or freaked out about coming out about who you really are and what your philosophy really is, and just to be straight with yourself, just dance with your boogeyman with this song. This is one of my favorites. I'm here to do whatever I can. All right, my friends, have a fabulous weekend. I love you. I'll see you on Monday. Until then, live, love, be.